Yes, we are live. Fambulem bring you a warm greetings from the today na the 26th of October 2023. And me with the talk to una. Na me name Prince Emil Krumah. I'm na me side 10 o'clock. I'll talk about a few things. It's a short run. I'm gonna detail what we take on. The programs are coming a little bit slow now because I'm very busy with other things then. So it's just a little bit difficult for do the program and the timing and a live program then. So obviously I get caught up, but I apologize for that. But again, we go continue for bring the program to Una despite the difficulties. And today just one of them, and tomorrow we go do another. It's just a few things that I want to talk about quickly, and that will be the agreement we then derive from the recently held dialogue pertaining to the results from the just ended elections. I know some people are knocking why I read the name elections again, but you get for be a fool if you know want for read the name or the word election, because until the next election, we go continue for talk about an election. We get boku controversy around them. So yes, I want to talk about the agreement with the reach. APC as a party and the people them around were elected, where they go take up offices for keep up with their obligations. I want to talk about the growing resentment in the country as a consequence of many things, i.e. economic issues, which is hard pressing, and a lot of people struggling. The title, power, them brazen impression whether they give people as if all is well. I go like for talk about that a little bit. I go also, within the same context, talk about taxes in the country and how they affect the livelihood of we people, and how now the government now irresponsible. Although government itself is struggling, you almost can want to sympathize with them, but as a consequence of some action the way they take policy-wise, which is not really helpful for both the citizens and the country going forward. So there lies the problem. Having said this, I think we need for go forward. But like I say, these are the things that I want to talk about. Mainly the outcome of the dialogue and waiting to happen. And APC, the necessity for a political party where don't make two attempts at power, but not succeed for get power. Two attempts at power. Came so close. Of course, there are controversies around the last election in which there are claims that at least there would have been a runoff, that the current president not been get the 55% required for avoid a runoff. But according to the Electoral Commission under Mohamed Kone, he said the president get the required number for see the APC off in the very first round. So yes, in this context, all of these things not happen in a vacuum, by the way. We need to understand this. And within this context, this is where I'm coming from, where I say it will be necessary for let the party look inwardly, because the problem of the APC, in my humble opinion, is not from the outside. It is from the inside. I repeat, the problem of the All People's Congress political party is not from the outside, but rather from the inside. So what this means is the party will now have to take an inward look at waiting to happen, or waiting actually responsible for waiting to go on within the party itself. So it's an inward thing. But a house divided, I'm not saying Baku people ain't familiar with this phrase, this parable, that a house divided cannot stand. That is very true. I'm not sure how many people will disagree with me on that basis day. And when the house is divided, as a consequence of waiting that happen within, that the people then we get the oaths, then they see eye to eye, then they at loggerheads. That gives the enemy an opportunity to pounce on them, to help for divide una even more, because it favor the proverbial enemy. The enemy want foresee you destruction. And if you self-destruct, then obviously you go get person who go help you. Remember, I say when they talk about a power game now, the bottom line is they've made 2 attempts at power under the same leadership of the same 2 people, Dr. Samoa Kamara. Well done, but you're not able for realize the objective where the party be set, which is about capturing power. And I use capture in an English sense, not so by force. I mean for go look for them, for go through the process and explain to people and win the hearts and minds of people, and so that they go elect you. Along with your deputy, potential vice presidential nominee, Cheri Koko, Chernoba, twice in a walk. What this mean is your time is spent. And for the goodness of the party, of course, now the party people are going to decide that. And members say, I don't have a side here. I'm only expressing an opinion as I see them based on available data statistics. That's what I'm using. And the program is highly opinionated today. So I suppose say as a consequence of you not being able to take power through the electoral system, you therefore need to give way to another group of people for can see whether they go able to sell their ideas. And now they say this again within the context of inside fighting within the very party called the All People's Congress. I mean, there's a lot of infighting. Now the sample and then I've been earlier on where I say the party in itself is divided, and not from the outside, but self-destruction where it take place on the inside. I mean, I didn't platform them, so I can say this easily, in which I see people that I believe say are senior APCians, both will be not serve in possibilities, whether not minister, whether not director, whether not MD, whether not CEO, whether not member of parliament. Actually, they celebrate the thing where the All People's Congress is going through. And they talk about this right on social media, who say everybody or almost everybody has a presence. So you know, say exactly this is what is going on within the party. So self-destruct. So if you self-destruct and you get person where no one see you better one, well, then help you for self-destruct. And this is what's been happening. What if family also need to realize is there's been a power struggle within the All People's Congress. And the reason why they talk on this stronger one is because, una please feel free for send una comments. I mean, the show still live and develop, and as intend for making short, concise, precise, and end them for today. But we get regular program then when they come. I mean, we've been missing for a while, or the spacing of programs has been a little bit too wide. We will try for, a closing on that gap day and try to get 2 programs or 3 programs where possible in a week. Again, because there is so much. We were not only talking about elections, pre-elections, elections. No, we did talk about a country, the good of a country, the standards of a country, where a country is supposed to be. We did talk about development, and how for initiate then kind developmental aspiration and they of a people. How government supposed to help, how we could criticize government and bring to government's attention what they really need for do, because the people need for enjoy them program than they. Okay? The people that need for enjoy them program than they. Where governments go bring about, we go be of benefit to the people. This is our business. That's why we are not going anywhere. We're not like Boku Boku Water Channel, and we be just rise, like a puff of smoke and then they are gone. Again, because they were not real. Then can't talk about one particular incident or issue or time, and that time the thing itself is spent, is past. So they've left the scene. But we are here to stay. We've been of course, people know, so I need not go through that. But the point I was making again is there is a serious crisis within the APC, and it's born out of a power struggle. This I'm very, very confident about because I have been reading the narratives, I've been reading documents, I've been following officials of the party, the history of the party up to the last 20 years, 15 years, and then 10 years or so in power. What thing happened, the acrimony, the fallout between officials of XYZ and up to the point where we are, say the struggle has been internal and it's been a power struggle. The center of APC politics or power is centered in Bombali. Now the giants then come up. From time immemorial, that's what it is. And there have been a little bit of struggle over the last many number of years on how to wrestle power from that end for Brian come to another end, i.e. in this case, the Potloko axis. So you get giants them. I'm not going to be calling names, but obviously people are smart enough to picture the giants then we come on at the end of the day. And hence you were able to determine who that the battle. But this is it. Bombali is where the party in power is derived from. So the people from Bombali then carry enough weight and power. And this has been the case for APC for decades. So other people from other regions of the country are now saying, well, it's time that we bring this power here. Not to shape the power, but for Brian come here. So that's been the conflict for a great number of years now. Okay? And that conflict it don't cost the people of Sierra Leone and the APC 2 elections. Again, the APC apparently was not doing well shortly leading up to 2018. I mean, there was a good economy pre-2018, pre-2014, I believe, say 2014, and when we get the Ebola crisis, which actually hit the APC really, really hard in terms of economy and the Medina governance. That's what I mean. It really hit them hard, okay? It dislodged the economy. And from that point, then I went and tried for comeback again. It was already very difficult. Because remember, iron ore went up been the key producer of revenue for the country and was selling well because we get a good, grade of iron ore and was doing quite well. It lost 3/4 of your value. Imagine you depend on a product for your economy, and then suddenly what actually happened in this case is you lose the value of this particular product from 100% to 25%. 3/4 of it knocked off the world market. So imagine you lost 3/4 of the value of a product where they help for pump oxygen into your economy and make people and go about their business and happy, and people and they take pay on time and they eat and buy valuable goods and basically just life. So after the Ebola, I mean, it knocked off the economy, snuffed the economy badly, and the rest was struggle. So that affected the APC at the ballot. Obviously, we already sing them. APC no go sit down here angry boku. So this is not made up, it's real. But then 6 years on, I get one famous tape I can play. I'm not going to play it tonight, which is that of the President of the Republic now, retired Brigadier Julius Maada Bio, speaking, addressing the nation, as an opposition, talking about the cost of living, how unbearable it has become, and all the negatives we've been happening at the time. I was making a case on why people of Sierra Leone should vote for him. He made a good case, a convincing case. And I say this because the evidence is clear. On the basis of then campaigning day and etc., you can talk about regime change, interference by Western powers, and etc. But at the end of the day, the people went to the ballot and voted the APC out. It was a mandate given to the SLPP for change things. But 6 years on, things did not change at all. In fact, the fact here remains, things became really, really worse. Things turned bad off for we people. We people barely could not find food, barely cannot find food to eat. It's difficult. We all get family and they will talk every day. Sometimes you get for people that were not been asked you before are now asking and things like that. And away from that, we know because again, the exchange rate is bad. Currency has no weight, and you can understand simple economics. You don't have to be a John Adams for understand that level of economics. For let you know, say where your money not get value, it affects your economy badly and the daily lives of people. Where food inflation, everything they go up. I mean, you can figure out all these basic things. And that make us say the deceit of the ruling party is really stink and unbearable. And I say this again because let me address this. First of all, are they on record? I've got over 600 videos, by the way, publicly on YouTube, Facebook, and other applications. So you cannot make judgment on me based on one tape where you see. Okay, you can't make judgment on a basis. You need for do your work thoroughly before you come accuse me of this one. No, it doesn't work like that on the TNN, not at all, because the TNN get depth. 600 videos that you will get for review, at least not every one of them, but go back in time and see what was this guy saying. But I've always been critical of government. That's my business. And it should be the responsibility, obligation, and business of every Sierra Leonean. You can't be a part and parcel of the pretend convenience, which is inconvenient for millions of we people, but somehow you are attached to some kind of convenience because you get connection to government and somehow you benefit from it. And then you become unconscionable by not understanding the reality of the time. That while you eat beef, person self not able for eat how you call it, ground soup, where you go buy lamb and salt and pepper and put a. That's how difficult the situation is. Yes, some people are doing well, they're still driving cars, but who are these people? People are connected to the status quo, the ruling elite. But the business of government now for make sure say the people are fine. So we held an election. The election will get a lot of controversy around them. And when I begin for talk just now for say I did record and talking about the archive, visiting the archive so that you will know exactly what I've been saying through many years, 100 videos. That's not small time. That's a lifetime's work. And that's legacy. And that's forever. It's sealed. That is my legacy. That's TNN's legacy. And congratulations to all the people who have been following us all these years. And we'll not only give congratulations to those who are in favor or love the TNN for what we do, but also those who are constructively critical of the platform, from whom, in terms of that critical criticism, waiting will they make mistake, waiting we say we will not for be see, how we say, or how we will not foresee. So for this, I'm eternally thankful. But we get these elections, and there were question marks about this election, very controversial elections. We're not only local people and normal were saying that it was controversial. We know, say, we international partners also question the elections and provide we proof as to why there were controversies around the elections and why the elections, the results that were eventually pronounced, not match up at all with waiting up in the reality on the ground. In other words, there was an alternate reality for the one that will be the pronounced election results. I mean, people end up and count, and then you recall results. People end up and count, and you recall results. That in itself was questionable. In opposition stronghold, ballot paper did not turn up until late into the afternoon, when time will not be enough for people and for exercise their franchise. Opposition was deliberately intimidated, threatened, and in some cases attacked. Battery, arson, everything of that kind they occur. And inside government stronghold, the SLPP stronghold, opposition could not go there because protection could not be given to the opposition people for go campaign in a free democratic country. And people want for pretend as if this was fine. And some people begin for follow the narrative, oh, APC not campaign yonder, oh, APC then house not day in order, now it make them lost the election. Whilst I agree that APC then house not day in order, it not mean say that's why they lost the elections. APC not go campaign an opposition stronghold. Some people and they go with the notion say, well, now because they not be organized and they not be get money, they not do this and that. No, that wasn't it. They were denied. APC could not afford protection for APC people and we want go campaign na government stronghold. You will not put up a photo of an opposition like on a billboard na government stronghold. All of that was not allowed, which was completely wrong. Wrong. And apart from that, the one that we observe the elections, I mean, the report is out. We're not making this up. Go read the results yourself before you day in denial. Waiting the observer mission observe. It's on black and white. Now, not be even need for tell me this because we witnessed this. We saw this. We heard the reports. But this is not just confirmation, say, this is the reality. Family, I really need for forgive me because I am trying to make progress on this by saying, well, this don't happen. And are they again on public record by saying for the good of country or for country, we really need to move on. I have said this publicly. I don't tweet this. I don't do a program on this. And it's all over the media. But for let we get over this, it means say things will have to be done for serve as a deterrent so that it does not happen again. Now, on this basis, on the earlier side of elections, where maybe they make me pronouncement why they read people and they call for jihad. Why you people and they say, go burn yonder, go kill yonder. It's like, no, there has to be a voice of reasoning. There has to be an adult in the room in them, and they will not say tension, they run up. Also, you get forget people and when they see through the narrative and understand, say, there is more nuance to this story than then sound bites and they will hear it. Obviously, this is what was happening, and we've been called for calm. We know that eventually it will lead to negotiation. We know the possibility of Marabio being removed from power through the state they go through was actually zero. Because the man not going to do all what he do for attain that power day, and then through negotiation, you think say it go accede to waiting the other people and they say, which is let we swap. I mean, it not be realistic at all. And I saw this through and I said it, and people get upset. Those that support the All People's Congress, you can't say this, and say what can be. No, I was somewhere right in the middle, and they try for explain this so that we go see them. We also talk about the negotiations and intimate what me think about what will eventually be the outcome of the negotiation. And in all of these and many more, I feel very vindicated because I foresaw these things, negotiations with the party in power in peacetime. So it's not like somebody's holding gun to somebody else's head and when I go to the negotiating table, so that man there with the gun in head, it gets so much power at the table, who side and they go negotiate because it ended at the trigger. This wasn't the case. The opposite was true. The government sit on a power. The government now get access to all the facilities them. Another thing where the EU report accused them of, which is completely true. Now they can say these things are true. They get access to the government purse. In other words, the economics of the country, the financial purse of the country. They get access to them and they use them contrary to the rules of the game, but they use them to your advantage and disadvantage the others. They get the press people on their side. A lot of we journalists and presenters were all, even when they want for pretend, in terms of creating a balanced story, you don't need for go far for let you see through and through. Some of it was typically intimidatory. You, of course, they go intimidate you. They're not the ground and what have you, and you need a job. Other than that, you'll be cancelled if you just talk against government. And even if you independent, they face the wrath of the government in terms of trumping up charges against you. All of this was used to the disadvantage of the other. Nobody they say government not for get advantage, or when you get advantage, for user. It's the proportion, how wide it were, the disadvantage, the width of it, and the manner in which it was used. The security forces are supposed to protect the other, only protected one side, which was in power, and abandoned the other side completely. And like I say again, una feel free for sending una comments. At some point, I'm going to dedicate some time for reading comments and then see whether we can address them. Okay. So back to the point is, I've been trying to say, I have reconciled this entire thing and say, if we say no more, there's going to be a standoff. I remember I begin using the word and they as early back as the issue itself, impasse, standoff, which eventually press people and begin for use, and other authorities then begin for use that. It was a fact, but there were other people. We know they call names. Oh no, the country no, they're in an impasse. The country, there's no standoff. There's no political stalemate, which was clear that this was there. And the people, some of them were are no way when they say this is not the case. It's not like them in they pretend. No, because they're not being get an inclination at all that this is the situation. Even though they see it with a young eye, but they're not able to process that at all. That's a fact. Because it's not the first time. It's been many other times in which they will be in pure denial out of ignorance. But here is the truth. So maybe not reconcile this and say, well, we need to move on actually, because Madabio is not going anywhere. I'm on record for saying this, much to the chagrin of others. Why you say so, this, that, and some respectable, decent people and begin call for coup plot. We don't know when coup plot became so openly called for, because members say it's a treasonable offense. And even by echoing that sentiment, asking for the usurping of power, calling for a coup, that in itself is a convictable offense. Of course, they can bring you come in. That's how serious that is. But for tell you about the desperation of some, which I understand but not agree with, you still need for exercise a degree of calm and measure. We only get one country. We really only get one country. How you go say, let's burn it up, and then we go build them from ashes, where the prospect of doing such not even day. And not even day. So I don't think that was a plausible argument, those people were making at the time at all. No, I disagree. But there are so many disappointments because Marabio won the APC again. And people and they try for make like say he was right all along. No, he wasn't. He wasn't. The elections are questionable, both domestically and internationally. It wasn't clean. That's the point. And there's a galore of evidence. We're they say so, and we know that. But simply because some Sierra Leonean decided, say, you know what, we can't continue somehow to move on. And I was among voices that were calling, here for moving on. Because bear in mind, these guys, despite the distinction in color, and they talk about partyism, they are the same. These are the political elites. They will meet behind the scenes, have a laugh, and what have you, come before us and give us a pretentious sort of look, as if they're upset with the other and etc., but they are the same. So we where they echo their sentiments and they follow them, sort of burn bridges instead of building bridges, would they do itself a disservice? Because back in the end, now we, the ordinary folks who will suffer, We don't see them time immemorial. During the 40 Sankor war, the RAF war, we saw it. For me, there was a necessity for the war because the political elite had failed us big time. And because nothing could happen from the inside, almost similarly like waiting to happen now, because the political elite, they don't seal all the other side them where you go actually take action. Whether or not the police is strongly, heavily controlled by the government. Whether or not the army, key barracks and positions, the commanding general, the chief of staff, these are very strong, committed government people. Mostly, they can turn into a tribal thing. But what you better look at that, take them now, because if you see them can't pull in and we all suffer. So you want to put your cousin there, or your tribesman there, your kinsman there. So it's not about country, it's about this small bunch of people there. Salon people that we really need for understand this and begin for think on a different level. Within our media every day, people and insult we, and we do take the insults. I mean, this has been coming, but what we ask for is critical conversation. This is what we ask for. We can disagree for agree, but this pretension, because they sign an agreement, well, the matter be right all along. Now, APC now not be in trouble. Now they pretend as if the election, just because they lost the election, they want to make like say this, that. No, it wasn't. Marabio wasn't right all along. Go back to the census, the midterm census. Go back to what they happen inside parliament, the laws them. That also show you how these two people have been a connive for consolidate political power. The same law they went and pass. You can't tell me say APC big fool, not for no say the law they went and they pass will be eventually used against them. But yet those laws were passed there with the acquiescence of APC. APC was bad, Koko. These are facts. Yeah, you can't deny them. You can't really. So let me did it. The same law and deny Marabiori use. So you don't look at the PR system as well? You see what happened there? We had all this big talk. We had the election law amended. Why? In the middle of the game. So you can see the beginning of the process of rigging an election. It's called normative. There's a normative process. And not just to happen bang on the day of election. No, there's a process that starts long before the process itself, gradually leading to the elections. That's the normative process. And that's what Marabio was doing over and over and over, alongside some very novel things na Salon. The intimidation of the opposition. The physical harassment. Look what they do at the party in office. I said the president made a speech the other day or had an interview and was in complete denial. Let we agree, because me no say in some governments them, although the buck, as the American man say, stops with the president or not the president, but whatever happens, the president for no. But you can get some very strong man then within government where the president himself respects and expect them for do things, or can look on the other side where they do things. So they can go do them fearful things then. And one of them is attacking the APC office simply because the opposition was going there to gather now their own head office. And in that process, while the whole world's camera was trained on Sierra Leone because we were having this event on the eve of election, announcement of elections, they still send armed personnel and put the APC HQ under siege. This is what's called siege. Kettle the people them inside, members, woman, man, children, they inside it, including officials of government at the time. Not government, but in the opposition, but in official capacity, such as the mayor, Aki Soya. They all were in that room. We saw live videos, some of them, they stream live videos to us. So we may see this thing in real time. Yet there was no hesitation on the part of government for send armed men them to a place where there was basically no arm. Nobody gonna get armed. They send people in and they open fire on the office and kill an innocent woman. An innocent woman. Maybe they make contribution to society and to the APC party in particularly. Because she was a nurse. She was a nurse. She died in the party office. Apparently, being there because I understand that they have been assigned, in terms of helping people with sickness and other things. Then she was murdered, and then when I want make for that, we believe say this election be normal. That video then we come out where we seen at the southeast, them put checkpoints them. The man them were so brazen. They record themselves and put on a social media, call ministers their name, embarrass them. But of course, this was what was happening on the side. Now, nobody had them put forward a public media and say, now on your behalf, we do this. We don't put the checkpoint and nobody need to carry this, that. And even within those territories or those regions, either they inside in a government stronghold where they support the opposition, then burn their houses. They were not taking any chances. And now you want to tell we say, this was clean. Are you kidding us? Are you serious? Are you for real? So not because people ask for peace. Now it make now you want to say, well, the president was right all along. No, I disagree fundamentally. That's why I make that case there. And I hope that case has been heard. But somewhere along the line, we therefore draw a line, say enough is enough. The country needs to move on. There is $400 million at stake that will benefit the country eventually, and especially if it is put into good use. Because we know say them bele wapi them, that money they na one lay and pan. So part of this compromise, in my humble opinion, I know say that money they play a factor. Outside then we don't promise people and both we come together. We know say they can do that. These are a bunch of rascals. That money they we do we compromise this thing for the goodness of the country, which sounds good on pen and paper, but in reality, no, because they only want thief that money. We don't see First Lady dance for that money. Day. I don't know how come this money did not come. First Lady Fatima dance. It tell we the citizens that this money it didn't the bank already. And this was like 2 years ago or so, if not even 2 years. First Lady dance. Money was not received because that money being conditionalities which were not met as a consequence of good governance, the rule of law, etc., etc. Madabio risk all of that because he want to retain himself in power. The elections were not free and fair. They were not. And these are not my own words. These are the words of people that we've been doing at the grown. These are the words of people that we help for conduct the elections other than the Chief Commissioner of Elections, Mohamed Kane. These are the words of the international community that it did not reflect the results of the June 24 elections, reflect the will of the Sierra Leonean people. In other words, waiting and go express on that day. It wasn't. It turned out to be the opposite. So all the question marks, and it wasn't out of feelings, how people feel, or just an opinionated view. No, there was plenty of evidence. And Fambulem, so much happened at the country leading to the elections that we tend to forget how desperate power pack can be. How I don't even know the word, but we somehow want to forget. Una all member constituency 110. Remember what happened there? Remember what happened inside parliament? Look, Paupa, I know say una they listen, or most of una get for listen. I am only saying this so that there's an actual learning curve from all of this because it don't happen. But how enough will happen again? This is why I want to speak to this. And this is why I'm speaking to this anyway. They call them out because people intend for don't forget that for consolidate power, seize power, you expel 10 APC parliamentarians and use the judiciary for do so. You injunct them. You use the law in an illegal way for get an outcome where you want, where you desire. That's what you did. So, okay, the same people turn around, the APC turn around and injunct a good number of Unayon parliamentarians, okay, for similar reasons, whilst the case of the APC injunctees were heard, the one the way SLPP injunct, in matter of days. The one the way APC injunct the SLPP parliamentarians them, I wonder whether that case has been heard or not just dismissed them under the table. That begin for show the streak of violence where the ruling party will resort to, and in fact leading to a particular point in time. Remember, say, what they also do, there was in-house cleaning in which the vex pan Dr. Kande Kole Yumkela disgrace him. Simply because if they run, it turned out to be a foreigner. People want to accuse other people of being tribal. Of course, we don't talk tribal on this particular platform. What we resort to is reality, not in we resort to. But the same people and call Kande Yunkela Kenemwe, which I understand from him, and they friend them, it means a foreigner, a stranger. So in other words, Dr. Kande within the SLPP party was not an SLPPN as per tribe. But today they want to accuse her. Listen, Sierra Leonean, we know big fool, and some of una waking take them thing there on face value. Una need for stop and begin to have a critical mind. Having said that, an agreement, they reach an agreement. When they reach the agreement, that agreement, they'll deal with them a little bit. I get many questions about the agreement in the first place. One of them will be, now agreement way in good faith, I want for take as long as it go, it go help the country move forward. I repeat, now agreement where are embraced in good faith, as long as it go push the country go forward. But waiting as seen at the agreement, I go raise in a few moments from now. But one important thing is, I've been feel say the case of this agreement where them get was not only between the All People's Congress and the ruling party, even though the ruling party, the All People's Congress could potentially be a complainant in this case. Potentially, they could be a complainant in this case. But from waiting, I they understand is there were many other political parties who participate in the elections. Many. They participate in the elections, but when it comes to negotiation time, apparently at the beginning for understanding, I really need to, I know they say there were no others. Obviously, away from the interlocutors, the mediators, the arbitrators, they talk about the offended party or the party we feel offended or we feel like they get grievance, i.e. the APC, the NGC, the C4Cs, and so forth and so on. These are the kind of party they want to talk about. Were they present in the conversation there? Then participate, then contribute to the outcome of on our APC no more negotiate this outcome. But of course, there's credence to the question why they ask because you get C4C, for example, where Emerson Lamina don't hijack and we know who side Emerson Lamina don't go. Emerson Lamina is with the government. C4C, a brilliant party formed by brilliant people and we struggle, and we get a case for make. Emerson hijack today Emerson is part and parcel of the government and destroy an entire party. So you will not say that party they're not effective in terms of a dialogue being held for solve the situation of the country. The same can be said of how you call them NGC, in which the eventual big man inside the party, the talisman inside the party, end up for go form some questionable alliance. This guy was a guy who was trusted by the Sierra Leonean people. They look up to him for inspiration. They look at him as the clean-cut guy. These are all facts. In rabid followers, they don't go agree, but what we talk now would not say they make absolute sense. That the man, the way how he come into the game, it may look quite credible, appear quite credible, and a lot of us, yeah, even though some of us look at them critically, but we'll be see them like an option. But before me they make you your option, there are questions where I go like for ask. There are things where I go and see beyond you and understand your political alignment, your political sort of thoughts, the process. But you can change the country, but you go join your daddy in party. Okay, maybe you want reformer from the inside. But anyway, that's for another day. But the point here is, INSEF go form an alliance. In other words, it just scatter the party to a point where the party begin for struggle. We all get friends on the inside. Some things them from the inside. But even if we know any things them from the inside, on the outside alone, we able for do an analysis based on what's available publicly, which is the party inside they go through a struggle in which he appear like Dr. Kande, hijack the party for use the party as a bargaining tool, as a leverage, and deliver them to the all people, how you call them, the Sierra Leone People's Party, a party that originally he belonged to, even all the way out there molest him and make him for appear as if he's a liar. Because he tell we say in a member and one have you, and they make a register publicly and declare publicly, say, well, I don't register now. With this rogue speaker where we get Dr. Abbas Chernobundu. Man we noted for corruption over and over. Thief the country passport, sell them, involved in this case and that case, government don't prosecute them. They don't say, these are the same recyclable politicians. No wonder the country there as it is. I mean, young folks, young Sierra Leoneans, them, una we get the future of the country. Una need to begin for think. At the begin for see the SLPP don't buy a few, what I say buy, I mean bring a few young, vibrant politicians on board. But these are not independent. This is what the problem is. The business of you being brought on board, now for can't defend Marabio and the government. And it's hard for defend them because they're not doing quite well. Corruption is on the up. Poverty is on the up. Child molestation is on the up. And so many other things them. The social construct is broken, completely broken. Now they come, now they defend, but not so. They feel say everybody fool, and Sierra Leoneans, then they accept this. This is why I try for broke down, despite this peace process we then go through this dialogue, where seem for be an agreement. The people that want to begin for they say, they talk about people and where they support the Sierra Leone People's Party. I'm not saying I should not support, but they want for the impress on other Sierra Leoneans that Marabio was right all along. That the elections was won. Free and fair elections were held, and the elections were won by Marabio. And we don't say this is not the case, but let me not repeat myself. Okay. Now, as a consequence of this dialogue, we understand, say, APC parliamentarians or those who were elected, not only parliamentarians, i.e., the mayor, etc., other officials, then councillors, blah, 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 will be taking up their seats. I think some of them were sworn in today. I want to believe today is the Thursday, the 26th, yeah. And I believe the MPs will be sworn in on the 31st, I believe the last day of this month. Yeah. But the bottom line is then they go back to the elected position then. The question here is, apart from, of course, the way how we see them, which is the idea that there is some form of unity in which the aspirations of the people in terms of a democratic process, multi-partyism, is going to be happening as then people are then go take up their seat. What other benefits are there for Sierra Leoneans then? In other words, this agreement where you read the text messages or the text of the agreement, you see largely that a lot of compromise, but of course, in a dialogue, compromise for reach and agreed compromises will have to be made. But it will be whose kind compromises. But largely what you see is these politicians that save their own neck. Okay, you can see on there clearly. First of all, Dr. Samora being a case in a court. Of course, the case is questionable, but he did have a case. So all this noise that they give you all the months there, especially leading up to the elections, in which they get one political judge in person of Adrian Fisher, we ain't been there for prosecute APC people. Them. After the elections, why that case day was not called? Because they put a pause to them. Even if of the APC was a temporary one, where they give, and why they give them that temporary goodie? Temporary executive. Many questions we seek answers for. But anyway, Dr. Samora was not pulled back in court. And this negotiation only go on. And we will not say there is a possibility, again, because Marabio did this before the elections. He rough up Dr. Samora. He molest him. He accused him of theft, corruption, and pull him in the court a couple of times. So it distracted him from the main goal, which was about the elections. And then put corruption case na you where you get for the camp for can answer question, while at the same time you get campaign and what have you to run. And they prosecute you. Of course, that's on the basis of criminal record, you wouldn't run. Why was he not prosecuted? I know say we don't think about it, things they are very much, but I know say they are critical minds. Let's have a quick look on some of the comments that we make. Let me see if there's anything there for address. Fambulem, not only watch the video, please like the video. For now, the monologues that we do, we aspire for bring politicians, them and other people in from various backgrounds and discipline. But for now, monologue probably once in a while, yes, we will bring somebody of consequence for can talk. But for now, the monologue. But please like the video. Thumbs up, man. We get videos 10,000, 50,000, and then we get 500 likes. Come on, man. And again, we YouTube channel. Please, if you not subscribe yet, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. These are the Askuna for do. Let me just put them on the scroller screen, so you can see the details somewhere on the day. And like I say again, let's have a look at where people in the I see few recognizable names. Few recognizable names. Okay, got Brother Shaw here. Let's see what the brother says. Okay, both parties are ethnically and morally bankrupt. No sustainable policies to develop our land. A constitutional crisis for what? Loss of revenue, instability, and lack of foreign investment. I absolutely agree with you, brother. This is what we're speaking to. And this now make these two parties the same cheek of the same backside. Two cheeks of the same backside. They are the same. One in color red, the other one in color green. But power is derived from the people. Now, this may not understand. We need to raise the level so that we people can get for understand this, that every 5 years, now we then the council for can ask we forgive them a mandate. But we need for them to do an understudy by now and reshape with politics. It don't necessarily have to be the same two parties, the same political zealots. The Alpha Khans, the Victor Foes, the Samsuman. Come on. Some of these politicians are spent. Payansane spent. Abbas Bundu spent. This man and our furniture and our politics. And they're all now. Some they sleep, some they get slow way to speak. Slurring. Can you imagine? I mean, we can do better, Sierra Leoneans, man. Let's see what somebody else say. Brother Shaw, I absolutely agree with you. Okay, that's G4. Welcome. I greet everybody, by the way. I do greet everybody. So, okay, this is Massivan Davis. Let's see what the brother says. He refused to test the power, both internally, party-wise, and nationally. This man, SK, that's Samora, I believe, had power. Sierra Leoneans were waiting. Sierra Leoneans were waiting for the inspirational side of this man. Perhaps he chicken out. God knows. Yeah, I understand what you try for say, brother, and I agree largely with the sentiment expressed. I mean, what's the use of giving ultimatums that you will not carry out, that there will be no consequence? You talk tough to an ex-soldier, and you are not an ex-soldier, you're a technocrat, even a politician, but yet you decide for talk tough and you not decide for see through that talking tough. You give them an ultimatum, the ultimatum expire, and nothing happened. Who will take you seriously? Let's be real. And 10 for carry out the ultimatum, you left and go Napujum. Where there was barely action, the action was in Freetown. There was a sea, a wave of red who were looking up to you on that day. You marshaled the army. But then when the army came out, you're waiting for the orders, you chicken out. That's what the brother just said. Absolutely agree. And that's why it's time for a change. In the interest of the Sierra Leonean people, it's time for a change. Okay, that's another brother there. Zainu Job George is watching from Senegal. Greetings to you, my dear brother, and greetings to the whole Sierra Leonean battalion in Senegal, in different parts there. We know say we people are catching hard time again as a consequence of bad governance. Some of you may be there, waiting, finding avenues, to travel out and etc. or on different programs, but largely again now because the center cannot hold, which is the country where we hail from. But greetings to you there. This name looks new, Malpat Lam. Okay. What does he say? Who gave birth to all the social media outlets to sensitize the masses in Sierra Leone? The answer is Marabio and Mohamed Kone refusing to produce the election results justified rigged election. Anyway, I think you went too far. I agree with the sentiment expressed, but you went too far by saying now Udagi rise to all their social media platform for doing it. No, this platform in particular was in existence before Marabio. So not to Marabio give rise to, I believe, all of the platform, and I know a few platforms that have been in existence, but definitely give rise to many platforms because of waiting they happen. I agree with you on that. Many thanks for that contribution, Malpat. Let's see, that's my brother Massivan again, Davis. What did he say this time? Had the SK mobilized a civil disobedience, who knows? Maybe it could have been an option, at least compelling the power regime to negotiate unambiguously. Just saying this. Again, you make a point there. It's hard for people, of a kind of level mind to support that idea, but it is civil disobedience, civil. And that's very critical for Lewieri, not to violence, civil disobedience. It means you are expressing some form of grievance in the way where you feel that it will have an impact. For example, a sit-down home strike. That's civil disobedience. We need to go until we realize what we ask for. With a boycott, we need the right poda, we need the right taxi, or we go sit on a streets. Yeah. Things like that. That's civil disobedience. They touch nobody, no unbug nobody, and it has to be a mass protest. Other than that, they will complain that you are disturbing the peace of others. But very good one, Massivan. For Malpat, let me go through the thing here quickly because, like I say, I expect this show to be short, precise, concise, to the point. So Malpat say, do we have democracy in Sierra Leone? How will Sierra Leone develop with the madness of injustice in the country? Well, we say we get and we practice some of it, but it's interesting how quickly we dilute the kind of democracy we get when certain things they're not suit with. For example, we get international partners the way we deal with in we day-to-day business system. We get them people there because there are agreements between us that way we agree to live up to. You find it difficult if you're not the ultimate Pan-Africanist or revolutionary, the people and they tell you waiting for doing what have you. Well, then use them within this skillfully, and you get an option. For example, you want the money, then put conditions then down. And if you sign an agreement towards the condition and day, then you therefore live or abide by the condition and day. And those conditions is about good governance, the rule of law, fair play, opportunity. And then in that regard, they then go ahead. You cannot even pay 50% of your salary to you people and where you employ. 50% plus more of salary them now on the generosity of tax paying people now the Western world now in the help. And then they give you free, then they give you with condition. Some of the condition them for some are just basic things them, and you agree to that. So for normally you practice democracy. When you agree, when things not work for you election, you begin for whip up sentiment inside your people and by saying the people and interfere now we govern now we country Africa for Africa cheap, very cheap. Lamine Nyandibo. I like this brother's name, Nyandibo. Okay, my concern with your argument is that everything you are saying did not start now. Well, of course, my brother, I am not in denial of that. Waiting to happen now, and I say I'm at some point inside this program. I remember I did say that it did not happen in a vacuum. Now that exactly I mean. There is a context to this story where they happen now. So I absolutely agree with you. So don't fault my argument because I've said it. When I say waiting to happen in a vacuum, it means that there's a story to it. There's a context to it, and not begin now. Thank you very much for that contribution. Who do we? Stephen Yale. Let's see. Good day, Prince. CD said they consulted stakeholders and grassroots before the dialogue, and they agreed. The former information minister said they were never consulted. What is going on within your party? They are badly divided. It's time you guys go back to the drawing board and fix your party. We see your pictures. Okay. The party is not my party, by the way. Public correction. It's not my party. I do have a choice to join a party or be affiliated with a party, but in this context, no, you got that completely wrong. Secondly, CDIR Tunis said, and somebody else is saying that no, one is saying yes, the other is saying no. It creates exactly the same confusion that I'm talking about, which is the house is not in order. And if the house is not in order, definitely, my brother, there is a problem right there. In terms of Samoa in picture, that picture, they caused a huge uproar. Imagine, I released those pictures myself, okay? I had an opportunity and I said it in a caption over the picture. I had an opportunity to meet with the leader of the opposition, an opportunity which I valued very, very much. I interviewed him. I had a one-to-one with him. And as usual, it was a time for photo op that anybody will try to take advantage of. It's only we Sierra Leoneans and probably others who interpret these things in a different way. If I have an opportunity today to take a picture, a photo op with the President of the Republic, retired Brigadier Julius Madabio, I'll be happy to do that and show it to the entire world. The same is true with the First Lady. These are personalities and these are opportunities. I want you to continue or to begin for Lucam in that prism, not to that narrow prism, the way you the Lucam and where you outline. But many thanks for that contribution. I hope that. Let's look at a few more and then go back to a program. All right. Again, Shaw says the people of Sierra Leone should vote up or down on whatever agreement they come up with. We, the people, should have a say. I absolutely agree, and this was one of my concerns in an earlier program that I did. One of me understanding, I did speak to a few APC officials, and the impression that I was given was, well, this case, in other words, this dialogue was a dialogue where APC been they represent the people of Sierra Leone, in other words, the aggrieved side, not necessarily the APC, but somebody had to champion the cause. So that's what the APC was doing there. So my question and what we asked then, now you just express now. So did the APC go back to the people for go consult them, say, well, this is what we've arrived at, waiting on a say? Okay, did they? I'm sure they did not, but a very good one, I'm sure. Many thanks for that. So we get Aruna Kamara. It's good to hear from you again. You've been gone a long time, brother. We've been telling you this thing, but it's good to have you back anyway. What I want to say? You are spot on, brother. Telling it like it is. Doesn't matter what party you are supporting. Truth is truth. Absolutely, my brother. And this is more of what we Sierra Leonean them for they do now. You see, if you get your oaths and then you dip and push things then under the carpet, all the dirty, the rubbish, one day you go trip over that carpet there as a consequence of which you don't hide it. A fine way you deny your party, you support your party. Of course, you should be able to support the party of your choice. But you equally need for no say, your country, it reigns supreme more than the party. So therefore, your country first. Your country come first. So your country in business, now you they put before party. Party is secondary, country is primary. You for able for tell your party or your party leadership say, but this direction where will you go, so you're not correct. But this one, what would you do, so you're not correct. And what if we do? I mean, suggestions. But you see party they do wrong, you just the support. You see party they hurt country and hurt other people and citizens, you just the support for party's sake. To me, that is completely wrong, and that's what the brother Arun just said. Okay, we get Stephen again. Let's see what Stephen say. Prince, you guys cry for the international community. The international community don't come and talk. What is happening with the disaggregated data? It's not evidence. It's nonsense. Where do I start? Okay, let me start from the bottom. Explaining without evidence is nonsense. For goodness sake, Steve, the point where you're coming from is completely nonsensical. There is plenty of evidence available about the June 24 elections. So I don't know what you're talking about. And you keep I am doing an opinionated program, and I'm a media analyst. I would like for you to see me, so at least for now. I am talking about country and how the country is affected as a consequence of both parties. You keep because I criticize the APC, I mean the SLPP, and as well as the others. Anybody will criticize the SLPP, they have to be APC. Anybody will criticize the APC, then get for be SLPP. This nonsense of a notion we need for pull and come out altogether and focus on the country. I just say I'm earlier. It should be about country first. Okay. Now look, the pathetic contribution where you make. It's really pathetic, brother. There's plenty ample evidence. You guys call for the international community. Yes, they did, but not because they called for the international community. The international community is they have a presence in we country with political structure, with democracy. So not necessarily APC calling for the international. Where do you live, my brother? Which planet? You don't know this? Sometimes it doesn't play well. Sarcasm not really good for you. So the Manabio being called for the international community the last time, not so, a cry foul. The videos are all there. Same international community help him, because if the international community not been come in, I not believe say he will have been president today. Okay? Because the Shia will raw power where they show. So once upon a time, somebody else been get that power day and will be in complete denial. The only difference in the person the last time is that person they decide for honor international obligation and live in peace. And make it the country today and is protected. Whereas Marabio for grip this power and hold this power by any means necessary power, it burn bridges and it put himself in a difficult position where waiting and Eskroma enjoy so today, he will not be in a position for enjoy them. I hope that helps, Stephen. Okay, Stephen, make another contribution again. Let's go through that quickly. A samurai or flag bearer for 2028. Okay, serious. Yeah. Malpat Lam, who is going to mitigate or eradicate the chronic legacy of corruption in Sierra Leone? Madabio is more corrupt than the other politicians. He was suffering in America and London. Don't trust him. In terms of the corruption, I agree. Again, there's plenty of evidence for points to this particular government being more corrupt than the last government. Plenty of evidence. Then sack, disgracefully, disgusting thing, the Auditor General, Madam Lara Taylor Pierce. Then sack them because they don't want to be audited. The few audited human do of them, 30 they can't account for billions of leons where end up in a black hole. Okay? Double dipping, fixing receipt, counterfeit, and etc. for a government. That's a fact. There's the evidence. Thank you for that, Mapat. Now you last one because you don't they make any serious contribution. Prince, you have to chill. The people you are fighting for have calmed down, gone to take their seats, and calling you president. You have to come, brother. I'm always down. I'm talking about my country, bro. You have to come down. Go and bring your list, my brother. The government will consider. Okay. Massivan, what does Massivan says here? The APC executive were clearly a group of cowards or just too weak to stand up to a very vindictive and vicious regime. Reason citizens were hoping for the international community to step in to help restore Sierra Leone democracy. Well, of course, that helped a lot, the presence of the international community. Manabio, he still does have some respect for them because he knows that they can do him great damage, of course. They can do him great damage. But he tried to play in between the people and the international community by whipping up anti-Western sentiment, of interference in our democracy, in our internal affairs, which wasn't true. These people had an obligation because prior to the elections, there were agreements signed. They met here in London. The Commonwealth is involved in terms of African politics and democracies and elections. And so are other organizations, Irish Aid, the EU, for example, and they give money to these causes. I mean, they can only fool some people and probably just for some time, but not all of the people all of the time. Well, tell us about Sam, the sacked vice president. Okay. Massive, I can't believe you are asking him. Well, of course. He's doing it to himself, not me. You see the question that you ask him, he forget to know that it's on international media and they'll just look at him as what he's representing. Malpat, the Sierra Leone brother, I love and appreciate your honest. Thank you for that. Okay. Prince is very biased when discussing national issues. For him, APC na angel. Now make I tell you, I get 600 videos, then I forgo see them first of all. I don't tell you, say, how do I say this? I've said the two parties are the same. They're all native. How do I say this? For let you understand. Brother, you need for clean your ears, I've said this more than once on this program and many other programs. I've said this. I don't say a few times they are the same cheek of the same, two cheeks of the same backside. Or don't you understand the phrase there? That's what it means. They are all. How do I say that, but see the other one like angel? Come on, man. You're a joke. Massive and both comparatively, one can say the APC is the lesser evil. Well, I will agree with that sentiment. The APC in this case is the lesser of the evil. That is true. That's a true. You should not hesitate to express that. Of course, finger pointing is going to be done again at me, but the evidence is there. Corruption was rampant in the APC, but under the SLPP for the last 6 years, it's even more. I just talk and just know. Then sack an entire auditor general for audit them, and even the audits the way the woman conduct. My goodness, have you not seen that? Same people were in denial. then the woman we don't do such a good job, expand that department, they pull her inside that small Lily Ministry of Finance inside that department every day, make them internationally recognizable and recognize. Now they want to vilify the woman. Of course, this is not strange. They do that all the time. My Sierra Leone brother, I appreciate your understanding. Thank you very much, Massive. And so we ignore current wrongs because of past wrongs. That's what this Steve is saying. Steve, what do you say this time? You should have educated Samora before the dialogue. You don't, and now they criticize the man on. You they flip flop all over the place. I thought you say me say APC now angel and now bias and what have you. Bo Stevie Bo shame for you, Bo. Stevie never enjoy this show. You just flip flop. Okay, this is now your final comment I'll read. Stevie. Good day, Prince. CD said they consulted stakeholders. Okay, you mean don't contribute that earlier on. I did see that. Okay, please answer the question. They are badly divided. But I don't answer that, Bo. You just repeat yourself. They ask something constructive, Steve. You can do better than that. From the beginning of this program, I said the APC party is divided, and I am calling in my capacity as a Sierra Leonean for a party where, if not the biggest opposition or party in the country, must be the second. So they represent a huge swath of the political landscape of Sierra Leone or Sierra Leoneans. Okay? So me, they say there should be reform. I've already said that Samora failed twice, along with the vice president, same two people. How else do I say this? But I'm not saying this to please you. All I'm saying here is fact. It's the answer. I hope that answer that. Okay, final one. Rashid. Rashid, Abubakar Rashid. Prince, it is now clearly known that our politicians have individual interest rather than country. So the reason to go to parliament or the council is to make money and wealth. The dialogue is the most disgraceful ever in this country. I absolutely agree with you, brother. And I said that again in subsequent program, and I say it again MMTD. There was a rebellion in the making. Samora could not hold those elected officials for no more than 1 week more. No. Some of them had already established contact with the ruling government, and they were going to break away from the APC and go take up their seats, which would have been even more disgraceful. It is true, it was all about money. It's not about country. Yes, we can understand. It's really the work. Them man they done out of power for more than 6 years, if not more. And all waiting them get some man not good at business, some man not good at investment, some man not save. Money done. So now for go thief back, that's all they're thinking of. And again, when you go work there, you go get salary. But it's all them mass there, especially inside parliament. And of course, right, they give them that back pay. So it was all about the money. And if you remember back, the time when they begin for boycott, if you read big people and they talk, senior people, then we expect better. Dr. Sylvia Blinden, pardon me, was one of them where they say, where they encourage them for go on the basis of money. That shocked me. That really shocked me. But when he says so, other people and say that, including the second parliamentarian, APC parliamentarian, we go, Dr. Blinden congratulate, not on the basis of something else, something substantive, when I shock me, but only on the basis, you see, don't they have money business and what have you? Come on, man, that was shocking. Final one for tonight is from Alpha Umar Jallo. The APC guys did not discuss what is on the paper. Instead, they talked about another different issue. Anyway, back to reality. Thank you all for the contribution we una all make to the program. Una can send me work. I've got a body of work on social media. Also there on Twitter. If you know to follow me, you can follow me now. Just type out 1P on Twitter. You will see me, or X. You will see me there. And please follow if you can, please. You can also find me working on Instagram. I'm also having a profile on LinkedIn. I do have a Telegram channel as well, which I barely use, but there is one. So you can find me in all them places there. Please therefore share this video, whether I'm you know SLPP or you know APC. Let the other people they hear it. So these people are not be serious at all. It was always about money, not the interest of the country. It was about themselves first. And even though I don't get evidence to that effect, but I go intimate this. That 400 million, I know say it play a part, the top of the MCC money, the compact money, it play a great role in this. The government want this money badly. It's a tightrope for Waka, because if it stop this money from coming, it also affect the country. This in itself no problem. The country need the money, the government need this money. So me no say then Akata they're all long time bargain. When that money come, we all work together, let that money come. When that money come, all man go get in court. And then the country go get in own courts. The biggest court will go to the one where they run government, seconded by the one where they in opposition. But this was no good deal. It wasn't no good deal at all. A bitter for Swella. But was there another? No. Now we talk about APC need for reform, and I talk about APC in reform one. But the people that will be hold APC hostage, or will not help APC in a time of need. And are the same people that want reform, which is a good thing. But then again, the House need for the in order for let APC go through that reform day. The truth here is APC need they need for invigorate a new sort of enthusiasm, a thought process, a political process, smart, innovative, young, dynamic individuals them in the party who go carry the party forward. Not this old crop of leaders. For goodness sake, for good of country, I'm not speaking about the party or the party, they talk about for the good of the country. Because in the not too distant future, you will come to power, because anyway, now una two number we get. Twiddle D, twiddle dumb. If not to green, na red. If not to red, na green. Same thing, same. So they have to be preparing now for power in the future. I mean, this venture has failed twice. Those who took us to this failed venture twice now need for take a step back, call for thorough reform, and try for give the party to young, dynamic Sierra Leonean them, APC people them. We go able for bring new ideas into the party on how to go on and take power when that time, shall come. Which part the other one then for play now, and this is not the other difficult situation. But there has to be compromises. For example, my understanding is some Sumana not help the party at all. We need them, especially from the district to Saikamo. Then we need them badly. He stayed put and he wasn't helpful. But now he will expect people and for help him. Well, will those people help? You see, inside the division, and this goes to other one them as well. Look Alpha Khan, look others. This is why, again, the need for get fresh people. If the party in politics get for center and Bombali, in other words, now they power belong, compromises will have to be struck instead of them begin for do bloodletting, if you know what I mean. Put local, say, well, this one now we then think, and in the meantime, you get somebody in the middle or an invisible hand where they help for destroy one more. Listen, family, this program must end. The shape of the country bad. This is exactly why we need for close ranks, for bring the country come back together, and hopefully let the country flourish. The government in policies then largely has been failure. This now October with this. So I remember saying when they go general election, the once upon a time finance minister and chief minister, JJ Blood, teaming on sweet and so much that it forgets the economy in 6 months. It take them 6 years, they not fix them. But when this election may they come again, they get the audacity, the goal for tell people and say, in they fix the economy in 3 months. Can you imagine this? This speaks volume. Somebody may ask for evidence. I mean, the circumstantial evidence, look at it pile up in this particular case, and in many other cases, there are physical evidence. When the Auditor General doing work now on the basis of evidence, Usai question they will not get, Now conjecture, you go put on the, but largely now based on what you submit. And then basis then you say you buy laptop 600 and go check for them, it end up for be 100. Or then go check the receipt back, you make na jebu. So all down there, the record day is piling up, 49,000 bag rest missing. Who side then go? Rest they do inside one man in pocket. How come? Chief investigator say they investigate, a team up one day now what always saying I ask to the rest parts, look the warehouse here and 30 they will not see one bag. Come on, man. We have to be real. The cost of living for we people is on the up. It reach a point where it won't be tolerable anymore. It won't be tolerable. This is why I say there's growing resentment in the country. People are not happy. That's just a fact. It's a fact. People are not happy. How people can go be happy when mentally then they struggle, physically then they struggle, emotionally then they struggle, financially then they struggle? How will they be happy? So this in itself is a fact. The country they in dire strait, economically speaking. Government is struggling. Consequence again of policy then. Now that they rely on tax. Every day then they increase the tax and they tax everybody. People where they pull dirty self now board where they can't go now, then they tax them. I mean, they say people are not for pay tax. But the more they increase tax on businesses and what have you, now the more is having more impact on the local population. Because the businessman, for let it continue for doing business and pay you tax as well, it pass the cost where you don't put on them as a consequence of taxation on the consumer, the people where they can buy. So now yesterday you buy one egg, 1,000 leon. The next day you buy 2,000 leon because you don't put you price up. You don't tax them more. You don't increase petrol. Because again, we're not can understand partnership, international development, the IMF, when they can give one of them order than they pull subsidy. For example, most countries they can subsidize some of them basic things they are with everyday thing for people and where they affect an entire nation. Gasoline, for example, or energy, general energy. Government subsidize them because if they're not subsidized them for let people and buy them, they go out. And if people and buy them, again, the same thing. You go buy the petrol high, you they hike the transport for let you able to get the maximum cost of waiting it cost you for run your vehicle, both petrol, wear and tear, and etc. And that not a go down well for people. I make government go subsidize. I make the EU or IMF then can come under structural agreement program, then they can tell you, say, remove a subsidy. And make it difficult for you, remove subsidy because you've agreed to all anything and you get for remove them. And then you people they continue for suffer. Because you can't stand up to them. Then come and tell you, say, open up your market. You can't tell them for open up the markets. Now then they can't instruct you need for open up your markets. And when they come, they swarm your market with all kind goods and a cheap goods. So let we use the food industry, for example. We get with local people and local chicken. Then go bring chicken. The local chicken don't cost more. It don't cost more. But then go bring chicken. Then toxic chicken them, the parts of the chicken they wouldn't chop when they don't want. But of course you can make money out of them because this is on an industrial scale. Imagine. Then we can come cartoon, then sell and cheap. Your country chicken cost 10,000. One box chicken with parts cost 5,000. Then buy them, then cook them, all man get piece of chicken rather than that country for. So they don't damage an entire industry. Eggs, and you name it. Small time businesses, they catch hard time. And all of this now is a consequence of policy. The only man we mean to speak to anything there, to be honest, without fear, is the man eventually where they been here for end up put in a jail, where they been Kamarimba Mansari. Let's be honest about it. He was very critical and he was spot on. I mean, get in tomb on the pause. I mean, get him right on the button. When it comes to the issue there, he was speaking, he was saying them. It was almost prophetic. And because of a level of criticism, maybe the level of the president and the first lady, the kind lifestyle, the kind of lavish lifestyle that they were living at the expense of people. I mean, when I tell people and say in case being political, people argue again, oh, this, that. I mean, why don't we have the vision the mind foresee these things, yeah, as they are. Why would they allow ourselves to be fooled all of the time? 60 some more years, same people and can't just be fool we. Sierra Leoneans, it's time for change. APC, it's time for deep cleaning. APC, it's time for you to reform. If una go get for embrace Samsumana and us, una need one big conference for do so. But once una do so, in the interest of the people, una get for fairly compromise. Because for get rid of something which is not performing well, una can't come with that same approach that una don't do twice and una fail. It simply means it's not working and you need a new approach. And if it's not working, what's wrong with applying a new approach? What's wrong with bringing new, fresh faces that will make plausible arguments to the Sierra Leonean people? What's wrong with that? Now we see government, they go from host to host, from shop to shop with the tax document, how you call a machine. So as you buy then they pay tax. This is a sign of desperation. I can understand this because businessmen largely are unscrupulous and can always find a way for cheat government. Even in the Western world, this happens. They find a way. But is it by going there physically, holding the cash machine that you earn for tax deposit there as then they buy? That's intimidating and that's desperate. This is not a desperate measure. Because I sure say other measure than they. But that shows how desperate you are for money. That's exactly what it is. And this is not going down well. Finally, we airport. Of course, the airport has been built. Again, as a consequence of the arrangement with the rich, with the people that we construct the airport, everything else now is difficult. Then give you a timeline. 25 years, una need for pay money back. Massive money. These people don't care how they get the money. This is the point. I mean, when you go to negotiation and you forget this in mind. You look in the distant future, not for only score political points now, so you agree to something where eventually will affect we country and we people. Now you have an airport where they generate far less than it's supposed for. And the people where they fly go to the country mostly will use the neighboring airport. If you want, you can call them people not patriotic. But until not to you they pay for them, not to you pocket you the deep, but all the tax and the way they levy on them, not to you get for pay for them, instead you just want their money. This is business. This is savings. This is using your acumen. This is making a choice, a conscious choice. Yes, you want to be patriotic, but the cost probably is too overwhelming. So now you get for look into this and find a middle way. Recently, una decide for increased tax again or levy tax on the people, another 100 and some more dollar tax on top of all waiting the exit. Can you imagine? You're flying to go home. It's like you get for look for the entire bank or work from the beginning of the year to the end of the year, forget change in your pocket so that you're able to fly home. Just the ticket alone don't cost you, cow price. And then you go back for go meet family in the kind of situation where people in the economically in the country. But come on, government. Then you talk about how you call tourism, promoting tourism. How do you promote tourism in that kind of style? How? The study from other people like Lily Gambia, for example. You could do a case study on Lily Gambia. How do they go about it? It's a tourist destination, first of all, and the economy largely depend on tourism. So look at the structure, and probably you can take a thing or two from there. But I know say you always find cheap flight for go Gambia. Person can just fly go Gambia for like 1 week, but you can't fly go home because now one whole, you can take that money there for buy land. Family for win, somebody for lose. Samora, you lost. I know say you don't own up now with this agreement, but when I left for the full people, APC people, when I left for the full people, they pull all kinds of story as if there is hope somewhere again, in which by some waving of some magic wand, Marabio will disappear, it will go. That is not happening. I've said this over and over. It's not happening. Not to through that process, the only thing we can pull Marabio is a coup plot. And it has to be a palace coup because it's well grounded and consolidated inside in colony inside day. Okay? And I'm not calling for one. I'm just saying that not the only way that they can happen, but through this other process, it's a done process. They don't hold a dialogue, questionable as it is, but that's what it is, and that's what the people of Sierra Leone get. Family and tomorrow we most title 21 reasons why people na Salone or Sierra Leonean people should be hopeful. 21 reasons why Sierra Leoneans should be hopeful. And they talk about opportunity-wise, development them way they happen, way potentially get for calm or they can come. So we go do that tomorrow. Okay. So please don't forget for spread the good news. We might pull a flyer for that program day, or we may not, depending on the time. But this has been production. My name once more Prince Emil Koma. And I tell you now, all thank you for tuning in. But we get for continue for speak truth to power. Also because you support a party, it means that you can't tell them when they go wrong or when they need for put them priority beyond the country. It's about country first. Thank you so much for listening. And until tomorrow, goodbye for now.